What's up, everybody? My name is Daddy. My channel is Learning How to Law, and it is currently raining outside. So that means if you guys are east of me, specifically in Colorado, in the next 2 to 3 days, you will be getting a lot more moisture. It's going to be snow headed your way for the next week or so, just because, well, like I said, it's that time of year, everybody. So just stay warm, stock up on some food, and stay inside. But I've got some important information for you. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make a brief short, and then at the end of the short, I'm going to transition into the video. So I'm just going to keep the recording going. That's what we'll do. So hold on. All right, everybody. So we're going to this video is going to discuss a little bit about what actually is a crime, and I'm trying to think. No, let me start with let's figure out what pecuniary benefits are. Okay. Pecuniary benefits, and then I'm going to explain the pecuniary benefits that police officers get. This is very important because they receive all of this because of our taxpayer money, and that is specifically why they are tasked with enforcing the Constitution. Federal law first, then state law, whatever state they're in, and then municipal law, which means whatever police department that they work in and basically live out of. Right, so let me show you something, okay? So, and I know some of you are going to go on and get mad. Oh, you're using Google. It's a tool. Learn how to use your tools, people. Do not ever be upset or feel bad about using tools to accomplish a job. Everyone has access to these tools, so that's why we're going to use that. Here we go. One sec. All right, so we're going to type in what are pecuniary benefits that police officers get, okay? So, actually, hold on, wait. Let's start with this first. So, what are pecuniary benefits? Okay.
Pecuniary benefits are financial advantages, like salary or wages, that can be measured in money. They include any gain in the form of money, property, or economic value. The term is also used in legal cases to show financial motivation or calculate damages.
So very basically, this is important not only for my case against the police, but my case against the people who committed the crimes in the first place, right? So the video itself is going to discuss what pecuniary benefits the police officers get and why, when they choose not to do their job, they are in violation of their oath, which means that they now lose all the pecuniary benefits and they get in trouble criminally and civilly. So watch the movie. It's going to be right about here if you are in YouTube. That's where the little link is. So just click on the link there and you will get taken to the movie. Now for the rest of you, I'm just going to continue from here, okay? Let me turn this off. Right? So thank you very much to everyone who clicked the link and made your way from the YouTube short to here. My name is Daddy, and I'm trying to teach you all that we all have guaranteed rights and privileges, and you need to know what they are so that way you don't let other people take advantage of you, okay? The video short stated that we're going to talk about pecuniary benefits. We learned that it's essentially just anything of value that you get, right, in this instance. What are pecuniary benefits that police officers get? Things like competitive salaries, overtime pay, allowances for uniforms and equipment, right? So like all of this comes from our taxpayer dollars, right? Like they're specifically funded from taxpayer money, okay? The state gets this from taxpayers and it distributes it accordingly to each of the departments and each sheriff's office and each right police department, and right, like, okay, everyone gets their cut, okay? But it comes from the taxpayers. We are their bosses, right? So do not ever think that if you come across a police officer, right, like they get to bully you, they get to control the situation. No. See, you work for me, you follow the law, and that's how we're gonna go, okay? Like, I don't have to, unless I've committed a crime, I don't have to help you, I don't have to cooperate with you in any way, shape, or form. That's my right. Okay, I have the right to be left alone and to be unobstructed in my daily activities, right? So, the uniforms and equipment, right? Body cams, the guns, the bullets, the tasers, the handcuffs, the cameras, right? The uniforms themselves, all of that is paid by taxpayer money. Other equipment, surveillance equipment in vehicles, surveillance equipment with the department itself, right? Computers in the department, anything, the department building itself, the parking lot, right? All the equipment inside of the department, the police cruisers themselves, the gas money that is put into the police cruisers, all of that paid with taxpayer money. You also receive comprehensive insurance plans, right? I used to sell insurance back in high school, right? I can tell you that depending on the policy, that's a lot of money that taxpayers are paying, and we don't have any say in the matter, right? Retirement plans, again, I used to work in banking, right? I can tell you that there's quite a bit of money that goes into this, right? When an officer gets paid several hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of their career, right? Millions of dollars over the course of their career, all of that comes from taxpayer money. Okay? So an officer might go and say, oh, I only make $33,000 a year in cash, but you're getting salary, you're getting insurance, you're getting retirement plans, you're getting free gas, you're getting a free car, you're getting free this and free that and free, right? Like, it's paid for by us taxpayers, right? Some officers may be eligible for specialized pay like longevity bonus or shift differential. So the longer you stay on the force, the more money you get. If you work a back-to-back shift, you get that. If you work overtime, you get that, right? All based off of us. You get paid time off, you get sick pay, you get vacation. All of that's paid by us, taxpayers. Right? You see all this stuff? Right? Oh yeah, look at that. Accidental death and dismemberment and life insurance. So again, if something happens on duty, right? You don't even have to die. If you just if you become handicapped, we pay for that. Right? See all these different retirements and savings plans that we pay for, us taxpayers pay for? Leave and time off, you get paid leave and holidays. Oh, and you get, yeah, I forgot about tuition assistance. Yeah, we pay for you to go to school, right? You don't have to pay for anything as long as you're a police officer because it gets refunded to you. You might have to pay upfront initially, but guess what? You're going to get it all refunded and then some. And you get tax credits. So, again, oh, and you get financial assistance because some organizations will help officers in need and their families in need and this and that, right? Like, I know this because, again, I've had family who was in the police department. I've had family who were attorneys and lawyers and civil litigants and, you know, our family comes from a bunch of army officers and, you know, we are loyal to king and country. Doesn't matter what country we live in, right? That's my family. For thousands of years, this face right here has popped up. Like, let me show you something real quick. Hold on, let me show you something. Do you see this right here? October 22nd? Some friends of mine basically wanted to know about my lineage, right? So, you see this right here? This is a grandpa from way back a couple hundred years ago, a couple thousand years ago. See this right here? This is a grandpa from a couple thousand years ago, right? This is a different grandpa, right? Like, all of these are conquistadors. All of these are men of virtue, men of honor, right? Like, royalty. Right? I'm not saying this to be vain. I'm saying this because, like, quite literally, like, I can trace my family's lineage back several thousands of years. And like I said, when we protect people, when we give our lives to defend the innocent and to, right, like, we are law enforcement. We are clergymen, we are lawyers, we are civil defenders, we are public defenders, we are public servants in every aspect of our lives. You literally go against my family's beliefs, my family's religions, the actual constitution that you were said to uphold. You lied, so you get in trouble. Let's go back to this real quick because we're not done talking about, right? So again, like, when you get all of this free from us taxpayers, right? And you want to go and treat us like shit, you are not allowed to do that. You get in trouble for that. Okay? Oh, do cops make $200,000 a year? Dang, where is that at? Holy cow. California. Oh yeah, they're talking about California cops. No, yeah, their base pay is like $50,000, and then they get benefits. So I think that's where the misconception is. Like, because like officers here in Colorado, I remember pulling up one officer. He's making over $100,000 a year, right? He's got an insane salary, he's got insane benefits, he's got insane this and that, right? Like all kinds of stuff is given to him for free based off of taxpayer money. And that's just one singular officer who hasn't even been in the department that long. Imagine if there was a sergeant around for 20 years. Imagine if there was a lieutenant around for 30 years, right? Chief of police, 20, 30 years, right? 40 years, right? Again, we are having to pay for all this. Okay, so when you officers want to violate our rights, okay, because let me show you something, okay? Let me, hold on. Colorado Springs City Ordinance for police officers.
Colorado Springs.
Here we go, okay? 8.1.201, this entire paragraph right here. See, you are guilty of this right here. Persons employed by the police department as peace officers shall exercise law enforcement authority as given to peace officers by the laws of the state of Colorado. Persons employed by the department as peace officers shall have the authority to enforce all ordinances and laws, whether federal. See how it says federal first? It's because you are supposed to uphold federal law, then state law, then city law or municipal law. The jurisdiction of any peace officer employed by the police department shall extend to all areas within the city limits, upon all property owned, leased, or rented by the city, in all places involving fresh pursuit, and to all places as exigencies may require, as provided by municipal, statutory, or case law and public policy. That basically means that even though this house behind me is public or private property because it's ours, we own it, right? The city doesn't own it, we own it, okay? If you were to come onto our property, you have to have a legal reason to do so. That's very basically what that means. Other than that, you have to stay off our property. No crime committed, no warrant. You are not allowed to enter for any reason, right? You go away, right? We have not broken the law. You leave us alone. That's one of our guaranteed rights. We're allowed our privacy. So, but let's get rid of this. Let's go down to the next part, your oath of office, because this goes and covers the exact same thing I just told you. Upon issuance of a State of Colorado post certification, each officer of the police department shall take an oath to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Colorado, and the Charter of the City of Colorado Springs. See how the Constitution of the United States is first and foremost above all, right? Because that's Article 6 of the Constitution. That's the Supremacy Clause. It states very clearly that you cannot break federal law, that there is no law above federal law, that even though states have their laws, Amendment number 9 states that those are our unenumerated rights and you cannot make another law that goes against federal law. Okay? But again, U.S. Constitution, the Constitution of the State of Colorado, and the Charter of the City of Colorado Springs, and to faithfully perform the duties and assignments of an officer of the police department. So again, you are required by law to help us, and when you don't want to help us, well, there's repercussions for that. Police officer restrictions, this one right here is the important one. No uniformed member of the police department shall neglect or refuse to perform any duty required by the ordinances of the city or the rules and regulations of the police department, or shall in the official discharge of duties be guilty of any fraud, extortion, oppression, favoritism, and or other wrongful conduct. It doesn't say and, but it literally means and or. So again, you are not allowed to violate our rights. You are not allowed to play favoritism. You are not allowed to go and say, I'm going to enforce this law, but not that law. You are not allowed to play attorney. That is highly illegal. You, when we present to you, this is the harm that was done to us, okay? These people caused us to lose out on money. These people caused us to lose out on our guaranteed federal, state, and municipal rights. These people are continuing to violate these rights. You, police, are supposed to help us. When you don't want to help us, when you want to violate this and the oath right here specifically, right, and the Section A of police officers' authority right here, okay, you get in trouble. Very specifically, you lose your job. Right, let me show you something else that I have, because I sent this to you in 2 separate documents. Right, this is my recollection of events from when I sent you the 2 different things, because we needed help for a whole bunch of crimes, and then we also needed help with your bad police. So let me show you something specifically. Right, we're going to talk about the crimes you committed. I've already discussed it briefly in a previous video, the last one, but I'm going to refresh you and let you know what you guys did. Actually, I just remembered the recollection was the first 24-page document. I had to write a second one. It was a 34-page document because that covered the bad police and bad policies. So again, you're gonna have to go look that up unless I can find it on my other phone. 1 second. You're gonna have to look that up in yesterday's video because unless I can find it here, I should have it saved in a Google page. But give me 1 second to try and find that. So hold on. Ah, yeah. No, you gotta watch yesterday's video. So let me show you where to find that real quick. So if you go to my channel, view channel, right, you're gonna come down here. It's literally that one right there, the 40-minute video, CSPD misconduct and misuse of public office. It's actually 4 hours ago, but by the time you guys see this, it'll be yesterday's video. So that's why I say it was yesterday. Thank you. We got a subscription overnight, so at least one of you liked the other videos that I was putting out in regards to this, but very specifically, this one right here is the one that you need to go watch because it tells you the 6 different crimes that they committed. The one was like obstruction of justice. 2 was I forget. Let me go look up the computer. Okay, give me 1 second to come over here to the computer and pull this up. I will turn off the YouTube for you on my phone in just a second. Give me 1 second. Okay, come on. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, this is the write-up for second phone call with CSPD. I started it October 11th, and this is the 34-page document right there, sorry. Okay, so let me find what I need to show you. All right, so these are going to be discussed in later videos, but number one they went and violated was obstruction of justice. I list the Idaho code because that's where we are now, and it's 100% relevant. And then I list the Colorado codes because, again, that's where the crime was committed and it's 100% relevant. As you can see, there are multiple criminal codes, though, that they violated. So this one here, CRS 18-8-104, obstructing a peace officer firefighter. So this, right, CRS subsection 18-8-102, obstructing government operations, right? So this one here specifically addresses intentionally impairing a governmental function, which is a broader category that could include actions taken by an officer to obstruct another officer's duties. So when you don't want to file a report, you're keeping other officers from doing an investigation and from going out and being able to press charges, right? Like you are 100% being malicious and you are intentionally depriving us of our rights. Okay? The one above that, obstructing a peace officer, defines the crime as knowingly obstructing or hindering law enforcement by using or threatening violence, force, or physical interference. So when I call in and you have to physically take the phone call and then you state, I'm not listening to you any further, you wasted my time, I'm hanging up now, see, that's physical interference. You chose to act as judge, jury, and executioner, and you chose to hang up the phone, right? You can't do that. Especially when I just read to you the code and ordinance that stated that very specifically that you are bound by law, federal law, state law, and municipal law to help us, right? So when you don't want to report the whole list of felonies, right, there's 27 different felonies, and there's at least 4 different instances of those 27 felonies happening. So you do the math. That's a lot. Okay, but we'll just say 1 felony was left unreported, so you get in trouble for misprision of felony, which is federal law. See that right there? According to federal law, there's a maximum fine of $250,000 that you have to pay, and 3 years of imprisonment, right? So on top of that, Idaho code allows us to collect for things, as well as Colorado code, because again, these are crimes in Idaho and Colorado, right? Number 3, all those 27 felonies that I said, right? You are now accessory after the fact, because again, you are legally bound to uphold the law. You are not lawyers, you are police officers, you are literally law enforcement. You don't get to say this is what the law means. No, this is specifically what the video is about, right? I have to prove harm, which I did. It happened to me, to my wife, to my daughter, to my mother-in-law, and to my sister-in-law. And then you also, right, that's the harm that was done to us, not just by the people before you, but now you specifically have caused us to lose out on money, and you've denied us our rights. Okay, so that's harm. Okay, I have proven. Okay, and then with any crime, you have to prove the crime itself. So when I come to you with a list of Colorado codes, Idaho codes, federal codes, this is the crime itself. That's number 1. I have to also prove the intent behind the crime. Okay, These people, just like you police officers, collect pecuniary benefits off of us. Okay, so there's monetary gain and there's possessions that you gain because of us. Okay, in this instance, you are lying and trying to elicit false fees, and we're taking possession of your this and that, right? Like, it's illegal. You can't do that. We didn't commit a crime. We didn't do anything to have a fee be charged to us in the first place. We didn't do anything to have our property be taken from us in the first place. So when you send us multiple letters, email documentation stating that you owe us money, pay us by this time or else, and then other emails stating that we like your truck, give it to us by this time or else. See, those are threats. Right? Let me show you specifically, because this is why I'm making a video. You need to know the law. We're going to talk about harassment now. 1 second. Okay? Let me pull it up for you because I got it in my document. Hold on. Let me control find, and we're going to do harassment real quick. HARRA. Find it. Oh, hold on, wait. I'm sorry, I misspelled it. My brain, I had a brain fart for a second. I'm sorry, there's only one R and two S's in harassment. Ugh, man. Okay, but anyways, where's my cursor? There we go. Harassment. In Colorado, harassment is defined under statute subsection 18-9-11 of the Criminal Code and includes actions such as striking, kicking someone, directing obscene languages or gestures at them in a public place, following someone, or, this is the important part, right? Because this is specifically what Colorado Criminal Code says. Repeatedly communicating with a person at inconvenient hours or in a manner intended to annoy or alarm them. What is that? What does it say, Colorado Code? This can be a Class 3 misdemeanor, and the law addresses workplace harassment under the Power Act. Oh my God. What does that mean? That means that, remember how I told you unless a crime has been committed, what constitutes a crime? Not a citation. It's a misdemeanor or a felony. When I can prove multiple felonies, multiple misdemeanors have been committed against us, and you do not want to help in any way, shape, or form, you have just violated the law. See how this is a criminal code. This is an actual crime has been committed against us. Yes, I can file a civil lawsuit against these people, but this is an actual crime. This, just like public nuisance, which is man, what is the actual code? Public misconduct, I think. Or so, I have it written in here. But again, when I go out and I make a scene in public and I'm disorderly, right? I'm a public nuisance. You get called and I get escorted away. I get put in handcuffs. I get a ticket. I get my rights violated, right? Because you're going to come out and you're going to enforce the law. When I tell you the exact same thing has happened to me and my family, literally, because it says in the code that her repeatedly communicating with a person at inconvenient hours or in a manner intended to annoy or alarm them. Okay? Let me read a little further for you real quick, okay? So, communication and contact. What does that mean? Okay, so following a person in a public place. So the streetwalker, I'm gonna go and say that you voluntarily decided to do this over and over and over again. Every single time you want to create a lie and submit it, you're literally stalking and you're messing with our private property. But okay, that's why I don't have that one bold, because that's basically me and my that's my argument. This right here, see how this is bold? This means this is what you actually did. You initiated communication with a person anonymously or otherwise. No, you put, this is our company. Our company says that you owe us money and you're going to pay us by such and such time or else. The or else, that's literally a threat. In a manner intended to annoy or alarm them. So again, I'm gonna pull the video for you, okay? It's a 7-minute video. When the company representative, Pat, goes and tells you specifically that, hey, there's no crime committed, there's no reason, rhyme, or whatever for the committee managers to send you these things. Like, again, they're choosing to be malicious and intentional in their conduct, and they're choosing to intentionally send out these emails. and to have these emails printed and sent to our letter, right, like our residence, right, in letter format, right, because it has to go from computer to being printed out to being mailed out to being right. So again, you are purposefully annoying and alarming us because there's no reason for us to pay you a fee in the first place, and you're lying. I caught you. Pat verified this. You can't do that. That's fraud. Because fraud was committed in Colorado, we get treble damages. Know the law. Know your rights. Because as you can see, other people will violate your rights. But here we go, okay? That's just harassment. That's what allows you to go and get your foot in the door and be like, hey, I have to speak with you. You have crimes that are being reported, and here we go, okay? Right here, what does it say? The whole reason I'm reaching out at the very base element is due to a very simple breach of the peace, which in Colorado is a criminal code and punishable as a misdemeanor. So this is what I was trying to tell you. The simple breach of the peace, okay? Because again, we have our right to privacy. We are on holiday right now. We have the right to rest and vacation. We have the other 30 universal human rights guaranteed to us since 1948. Just because the governing body, the HOA, wants to lie through their teeth and create a complete just fallacy, right? That does not make it fact. When your representative with your company states, no, there's no crime committed, there's no policy violation, you haven't done anything wrong, there's no notation now or anything about it previously, like, you are perfectly fine. Yeah, nope. There's no reason that the letter should have been sent out, right? Like, shame on you people for not doing your job, and shame on them for violating our rights in the first place and thinking they're going to get away with it, because it's not just happening to me. There's 400 houses that are completely full of families that they're doing the same thing to. So thank you, CSPD. Thank you, Shannon Snuggs. Thank you, Officer Robert McCafferty. Thank you, Dispatcher Andrew, badge number 5790. Thank you, Officer Bornsheen, badge 7596. Yeah, thank you for... Oh, and Dispatcher Kara 7711, right? Thank you for violating our rights. Thank you. Let's get back to this, okay? I tried to call police to handle the matter as several criminal codes were violated, yet Officer Bornsheen, badge 7596, with the CSPD, decided to waste valuable time of ours and deny us our rights. After already being forced to wait by the phone and computer to speak with someone for the entirety of the day, you and your department caused my family financial, economical, and emotional harm, and that will be addressed later. In Colorado, breach of the peace is a general term for a crime that disturbs public order, and it typically refers to the offense of disorderly conduct. That's what it was specifically. This includes violent or offensive conduct, right? So here we go. This specifically, see how what constitutes breach of the peace? Harassment. Oh, look at that. What did we just read to you down here? Constitutes as harassment. Let's go see real quick. Oh, because I'm pretty sure you and the police office forgot. Repeatedly communicating with a person at an inconvenient hour or in a manner intended to annoy or alarm them, according to Colorado Criminal Code Statute, subsection 18-9-111. Right? Class 3 misdemeanor, no less than a Class 3 misdemeanor. But because we have no less than 4 offenses, each one of those turns into a felony. So that's no less than 4 felonies just right here that you failed to report. So what happens with that right here? Okay, because this is the criminal code. This is what happens. The state of Colorado gets to charge for a Class 3 misdemeanor, right? It turns into a felony charge with 3 or more offenses in the state of Colorado because Colorado has a habitual offender clause. For example, a Class 3 felony, which is a type of felony for some harassment offenses, can carry a penalty of 4 to 12 years in Colorado State Prison. Times that by 4. That means bare minimum 16 years. Fines for a felony can also be substantial, potentially reaching up to $750,000. Times that by 4. That's $3 million or more, it says, or more. Since there are 3 separate charges, technically 4 because I didn't even count the Christmas violation. I was only counting the letters that I have pictures of, right? But again, I am also counting the Christmas violations as well. I would be asking for the full amount be applied, right? So again, it says 2.25. It should be 3 right here. But again, anywhere from 4 to 36 years in prison. Do you see that? It should be 4 to 48 years in prison for the 4 violations, not just for the 3. But do you see how just right here, you violated the law. You failed to do your duties, and you failed to, let's see. Yeah, see, I even went in here. I was like, in Colorado Constitution, Article 7, Section 8, Oath of Civil Officers, and then again in Article 7, Section 9, Oath, where filed, it's, right? I'm telling you very specifically where to go to find your oath. Okay? It tells you if you're looking for it in the revised statute, it's Colorado Revised Statute, subsection 24-12-101. That was, the last update was in 2023, right? It says, number 1, when a person is required to take an oath or affirmation before the person enters upon the discharge of a public office or position, the form of the oath or affirmation is as follows. You have to state verbatim this: I, your name, do, and you can say, I affirm or I swear by the ever-living God that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Colorado, and the laws of the State of Colorado, and will faithfully perform the duties of the office of whatever city, state you're in, upon which I am about to enter to the best of my ability. If you are swearing an oath, the person swearing shall do so with an uplifted hand. 2. The oath or affirmation must be in writing and signed by the person taking the oath or affirmation. It must then be administered as provided in subsection 24-12-103 and taken, signed, administered, and filed as specified in subsection 3 of this section before the person enters upon the public office or position. So all of this has to be entered with the courts before you can even start your first day as a police officer, okay? And then there's more to that, but I'm getting sidetracked because what I had to do initially is I have to prove to you what the crime is, and I have to prove to you what the intent of the crime was. So again, they are collecting fees, they are collecting property because they're trying to illegally steal my truck. They're trying to illegally charge us fees that they have no right to charge in the first place. That's abuse of a public office. They are a governing body. That's what HOA is. It's just like if the city of Colorado Springs decided that, hey, I don't like you because you're brown. I'm going to specifically target you because you're black. I don't like you because your skin is yellow. I don't like you because you speak with Chinese dialect. I don't like you because you speak with, right, anything. You're from Botswana. I don't like you because, right, like, if the city of Colorado Springs did that to any, right, they're discriminating. That's every single one of those instances is a discrimination of some right. I left out age, so I don't like you because you are 86-year-old grandfather or grandmother, and you're trying to do something for your 4-year-old child, and both of you or all three of you can get off my property because this is public property, and the city of Colorado Springs takes care of public property, and you don't have any right to be on public property. Right? Again, you can't discriminate. I have literally pulled all the laws for you. I am giving you all of the due diligence that I can. I'm letting you know everything. And you're like, oh yeah, we looked at it. Yep. Page 1 says whatever it said. Yep. Page 2. Yep. I read all 2 pages of the entire 2 pages of your document. What are you talking about? It says 34 pages. How can you say that you only read, right? No, you can't do that. No, see? You lied. I'm getting you in trouble now. That's what everyone out there should do. 100% accountability, okay? If I broke the law, the police would be breaking in my door and they would be placing me under arrest, and they would take me and they would charge me fines and fines and fines. If I can't pay the fines, then I go to jail. And they're going to go in, they're going to still charge me those fines. And they're going to basically confiscate my stuff because I can't pay those fines with money. They're going to, right? Does that make sense? They're going to cause financial harm, and then they're going to compound the financial harm, and they're going to cause even more economical harm because they think they can. Know your rights and stand up for your rights. Here we go. So number 3 with a crime is I have to prove concurrence. That's basically that number 1 and number 2, the crime and the cause for the crime happen at the same time. That's what concurrence is. So when the crime is committed and you're doing it because you're trying to steal from us, you're trying to fraudulently take what's ours, whether it's money or property, that's literally number 1, 2, and 3. I've proven it. On top of I've proven harm. I'll show you right here. Okay, let's look up harm. Okay, let's take out the ASS and we'll put harm. Okay? Because I define that for you people, so you can't go and say, oh, I didn't know. No, I make sure that you know. Okay, because there's like 8 different instances of what constitutes harm. Okay, let's find them real quick. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. There we go. It's under this. Okay, so special note. In a legal context, harm broadly refers to any negative impact or damage suffered by a person, either physically, mentally, or in terms of their legal rights or property. It encompasses injury, loss, or damage to a person's well-being, whether it's physical pain, illness, emotional distress, or financial or legal consequences. Here's a more detailed breakdown. See how there's 6 separate instances? Physical harm. If I cause you physical pain, injury, illness, or disease, that's harm. Mental harm, if it covers emotional distress, psychological, or damage to one's mental health. So when you want to go and violate the law, when I have the legal right to contact you and ask you for help, and you want to violate the laws that you're sworn oath to uphold and protect, that's emotional distress, that's psychological harm, and that's damage to one's mental health, because this is a guaranteed right. I have assurances that this is supposed to happen, and you lied. Property damage. This is them trying to steal my truck right here. Includes any loss or damage to a person's property, assets, or their belongings. This also means that you're charging illegal fees to us when you shouldn't be. That's property to assets and belongings. You can't do that. Legal harm. You people, your attorneys went and tried to tell me and bully me out of even more of my rights, stating that you can't do this, you can't do that. You're going to allow us to continue to do so. You're going to go and joke about how, these are civil rights violations and the Department of Justice is going to handle this because Colorado Springs Police Department sure as hell won't. Right? Financial harm includes any loss of income, resources, or financial security. When you're threatening to I ran out of space. But anyways, I've proven harm. I've proven the 3 things necessary to prove a crime has happened. And I've proven the fact that your officers are bound by the law. So that means that you ignoring us and our pleas for help, myself, my wife, my daughter, my sister-in-law, and my mother-in-law, 5 people, not counting the other 400 households living in the HOA, right? You are violating all of our rights, and you are getting in trouble for it now. So this goes to internal affairs. I need to also send this to all of my social medias, and I need to. This will be getting sent to our attorney eventually as well. So yeah, I'll be sending this to my my drive and saving it for later. So thank you all for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe. If this is happening to me and my loved ones, it's happening to you and your loved ones, and you need to be aware of it because police, lawyers, the people who are in charge of protecting your rights, they don't know the law any more than you do. They will collect fiduciary funds from us. They will collect pecuniary benefits, and they will not do what they're supposed to do. That's not how it works. If you didn't do your job, you would be fired. I'll actually show you. There's AI that businesses are using to track employees. They're tracking your productivity. If you don't meet certain quotas, they will write you up and they will have you shipped off. You won't be working there anymore. So again, if they're willing to hold us accountable for our actions or lack of actions, then you are 100% going to be held accountable for your actions or lack of actions. That is our 14th Amendment right, fair and equal protection under the law. Know your rights, everybody. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.